Ooh, the lies we tell ourselves and the lies we believe, the lies that run our lives. If you're a success, if you're an achiever, you're trying to make something happen, you've been telling yourself these lies that are running your life. And I bet you want to know what they are, don't you? Let's talk about it. And if you stick around to the end, I got some bonus lies for you. Jon Gordon's 5 Ds. If you're a high achiever, you need to know what these are if you don't know already. Hi, my name is Aubrey Lynch. Welcome to my channel, a place where high achievers come to make things happen. Welcome. Success. So you're a high achiever. You want to make things happen in your life, have impact, shake up the world, and get paid. I hear you. So do I. And although we know that success comes from the inside, we have to put our dreams into action. And there is a lot that can be in the way. Your environment, your circumstances, your resources, your family, your friends, all kinds of things add to the formula of success or take away from it. I find in my travels and experiences that a lot of what's going on is happening up here. Sometimes those voices and thoughts can really get loud and derail you. Well, if it's any consolation, you're not alone. I have this too. I would imagine that almost any person who is on the road to success, achieving goals and trying to make things happen is going to encounter a negative voice or two, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 or a constant cacophony, an orchestra of voices that really are having an impact on your mental health, your drive, your passion, and your ability and capacity to get things done and make things happen in your life. Sometimes successful people struggle, really are at war with these thoughts that are very, very powerful. I talk about them a lot because they have really ran much of my life and in some cases ran my life into the ground. Off track. What am I? What's happening? I've been there and I wanted to talk about them because it helps me get them off my chest, and I'm sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them may resonate with you. And if they do, let's chip away at them and get them out of our heads. 5 most common negative thoughts that can torture, torment, and haunt successful people, including me. Lies, lies, lies. Which one or ones are yours? Put them in the comment, I'm curious. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Imposter syndrome. Ooh, I've got a whole video about that. Check it out. But for the purpose of this video, it's when someone believes they don't deserve the success they've achieved. I don't deserve my success and they're gonna find out at any moment I'm a fraud. I shouldn't joke because it's real. I feel this all the time. I go, how did I get here? How did this happen? What am I doing here? What's happening? Isn't that incredible that you can go to college, university, you can do your training, your workshop, get your certifications, you have experience, you become well knowledgeable, and still you get the promotion and go, now what? It's amazing to me how many dancers really have this challenge. You feel sometimes that your accomplishments are because of luck. I just got lucky. There was nobody else to choose from. I kind of went to the interview at the right place, the right time, and someone just quit and I just happened to be there just because. You ever have that thought? Where you feel like your success is due to external factors and not your own abilities. This haunts more people than you think. Sometimes even me. This thought comes to me mostly when I make a mistake or miss a detail or forget to do something and I go, oh, I should have known better. Why'd I do that? I don't really belong here. I'm not good. I'm just so absent-minded, and so, the voices go on and on and on. And I am very absent-minded and I do make mistakes and I do miss details. We all do. Some more than others. I'm not sure what category I'm in, but I know that I'm not perfect in that way. The trials and tribulations of ADHD are real, and I have my share of bumps and bruises because of it. And so that will exacerbate my imposter syndrome. And what you can do is just in your mind or in a writing exercise or a real thought exercise, take some time, put on some music, and think about the things that you've done that prove you deserve to be where you are. Even if for some reason you did land there totally by luck, you'll figure it out and you will make something happen. You have to believe that you will. Get trained, talk to a mentor, do what you have to do to make sure that you feel good about what you're doing, and ignore the gaslighters, ignore the naysayers, ignore the people that want to see you fail. Focus on you, your training, your purpose, and your North Star. And put that imposter syndrome back there where it belongs. Fear of failure. If I make a mistake, everything I've worked for will be ruined. And the higher you get, the louder that voice gets. If I mess up now, it's a long way down. It's a real thought. I have it sometimes. I'm sure you do. It's an awful thought to think that, because it's not real. And yet it can really take the steering wheel. And this fear can lead to excessive caution and stress, preventing you from taking necessary risks. Don't take risks, you're not going to get where you need to go. And you know that in your life, to be where you are, you've taken risks. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. If you're afraid of failing, you're not going to take the risk you need to move forward. And like I said, the higher you get, sometimes the harder it gets. But the good news is that when you get past a certain point, I'm not there yet, you don't care anymore. I'm just going to do this. Elon Musk, for example, he doesn't care. He doesn't care if the spaceship crashes or lands or if the robot works or not. He let it fail on camera. That's what he does. And that's why he's a billionaire. So keep that in mind. Perfectionism. Nothing I do is ever good enough. If it's not perfect, it's not worth doing. If I can't do it all the way, I'm not going to try. Sound familiar? Yes, I know. I refer to my video series all the time because for years and years, I just wouldn't do it. Until finally I said, you know what? The worst thing that can happen is make a total fool of myself, talk too fast, stutter, and boring. Maybe I'm doing that right now. I don't know. And so what? I finally pushed record and started talking. But my perfectionism stopped me. Dancers are very, very prone to perfectionism because we're striving for these ideals, these unattainable shapes. And in our mind, we think if we just crank our leg a little higher, just pirouette a couple more times around, if I just deepen the feeling, I'll be in that place. And the closer you get to it, the further it gets away. For some people, that perfection, I'm never gonna get this, I'm not gonna try. You're never gonna get there, it's perfect. That's the whole point. Perfection is an ideal to strive for, not a way of life. It's something to put up there to go, okay, I'm gonna work towards that and celebrate wherever I land. And it's the striving for it that matters for an artist. When you're an Olympian or an athlete, it's a little different, but still, there are perfectionist ideals that they strive for that include scores, topping themselves or beating their opponent. The idea that if I'm not fast enough to beat this person, then I'm not gonna bother. I guess that happens, and it can really derail someone's success. And I'm not implying that we settle. I'm saying that we must be reasonable with ourselves and remind ourselves that's the ideal to strive for. It's not necessarily a goal. I will approach this aspiration and I may never achieve it, and that's okay. I'm going to do the best I can every day and make sure that the ideal is not the state of being. It's just the ideal to strive for. Because if you don't do that, it can lead to dissatisfaction, depression, burnout, and giving up completely. I've seen it happen a lot, and it's really sad because it's just an idea in your head that should be inspiring. So be aware of perfectionism. It will, it definitely will be in the way. Keep that in mind. Comparison to others. Everyone's doing better than me. I should be up there and I'm down here. How come they got that and I don't? I'm more talented, I'm more this, I'm more that. All of that stuff, especially on social media. Looking at pictures and things that are not really real. I mean, that may be a part of their lives, but as I've spoken about many times in these videos, if you compare yourself to the curated photo galleries on Instagram or the other social media, you will be depressed. Because we are all curating the part of our lives we want to show. And we make it look fabulous. So go to my page, I've got these suit jackets, and I'm at the Met, I'm in other theaters, I'm traveling the world, and looking at dance and ballet, and it looks so fabulous and glamorous. I make sure the pictures you see make me look amazing. And half the time, I just want to be home. I don't want to be out in the street dressing up. I really like to be home in my apartment, living my best life by myself. I love it. I'm not crazy about being out in the world and all that. I just never turn me on. And so my job has been to be out in the world. So I put that online, and people think that I'm living this fabulous life when in fact I just want to be home. So be aware that this can cause feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt even when you are objectively successful. I'm around a lot of very successful people, and it can be intimidating because I've been doing this a long time, and when people have more, or they're more visible, more money, more things, more visibility, more quote-unquote success, it's easy to feel bad about yourself. Just tell yourself that's a comparison. If it's not inspiring you to move forward, it's not helping, cut it out and don't do it. It's a tricky thing. I'm not saying not to strive for what you want, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't use the inspiration of others, your peers in your industry, to keep you motivated. But be careful you're not comparing yourself. She has this, he has that, they have that, and I have this. What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with the picture is you're looking at what they have and not what you have. If you compare yourselves to others, you will never have enough. And success will always be out of your reach because your success is actually defined by someone else, not you. Make sure you are striving for your version of success. Now, I leave this up to you. I try not to tell you what to do or give you advice, right? I'm not giving advice. I'm inviting you to look into yourself and ask yourself these questions, and don't judge the answer. Just make sure you ask the question. Fear of losing relevance. What if I can't keep up? What if I become obsolete? The more successful you are, in theory, the longer you've been in the game. And the longer you've been in the game, the more you see people coming right behind you, nipping at your heels, ready to take the tiara from you that you've worked so hard for. And you ask yourself, maybe I'm not important anymore. Maybe I'm obsolete. Maybe I don't really belong here anymore. I felt that way when I was dancing, when these young people were coming up behind me, spinning and jumping and leaping and turning and doing all kinds of crazy, beautiful things that I didn't think I could do well. I had to really focus on what I did. Here's what I do well, and just do that. I'm not going to get any better worrying about how many turns he can do. A conscious conversation with yourself to remind you that the feeling of being obsolete is just a feeling of being obsolete. It's not real. And if it is real, change it. Study, train, talk to mentors, talk to therapists, get yourself inspired and confident so that it doesn't matter what the others are doing around you. You're doing what you do. The feeling to continuously innovate and stay ahead can be really, really draining. I remember when I left Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, my biggest fear was that after all that beautiful dancing and traveling the world, I would just disappear. I was really afraid of that how could I start my whole career at such a young age at the top like that? What could I possibly do to follow that? And lo and behold, I have had 30 years of incredible experiences that were as beautiful and as amazing as Alvin Ailey. For me personally, I missed that time, and if I could go back, I would give all this away because I really do miss that beautiful company and being in the company and dancing and jumping and all the amazing things we did. I didn't disappear. That wasn't a real possibility. It wasn't going to happen. You're not going to disappear. You're not going to become irrelevant. You're not going to become obsolete. You are who you are. You've earned what you've achieved. You're going to be okay. That is a voice in your head that might be reminding you, work a little bit harder, take some more classes, or it might mean just chill. You've done a lot of work. Just kind of sit and resonate with what you've done and let the innovative thoughts and new ideas come to you based on what you already know. Something that others don't have because they have not lived your life. Understanding and addressing these thoughts are crucial for maintaining mental health and continued success. To quickly review 5 of the most common negative thoughts that plague successful people. Which ones are yours? Imposter syndrome, fear of failure, perfectionism, comparison to others, fear of losing relevance. And now Jon Gordon's 5 lies that each start with D, known as the 5 Ds, that often hold us back from reaching our full potential. Okay, here we go. Doubt. Self-doubt often erodes our confidence. It can prevent us from taking risks, creates uncertainty, making it difficult to take action and believe in our abilities. Doubt can lead to hesitation and missed opportunities. Distortion. Negative thinking distorts our perception of reality, often magnifying problems and minimizing our successes. This can create a skewed, pessimistic view of our circumstances. And this leads to the next one, discouragement. This can zap your motivation, leading you to a sense of defeat. And this makes it challenging to persevere through setbacks and challenges. Distraction. Allowing ourselves to be drawn by something that is really not that important. Not judging, I do it too. This leads to wasted time and effort that could be spent doing something better to serve yourself. We try to distract ourselves from the doubt, distortion, and discouragement. Understandable. A lot of us are doing this. Look around, it's happening everywhere. We are dousing ourselves in dopamine, avoiding the truth that we have to work towards success. And we have to be willing to fail. We've got to be willing to stub our toes and scrape our knees and deal with humiliation and being canceled and all the things that successful people and achievers go through. And lastly, division. You literally are divided internally. You divide yourself from the world, from your friends, from your allies, and you are in your thoughts of this negativity, and you're believing your own madness, and then you build on that evidence. You make a declaration, I'm a loser, and you collect evidence to support it. You're in this downward spiral, and the D's start all over again. More doubt, more distortion, more distraction, more discouragement, back to division. Then you go back to more doubt, and the D's repeat over and over again, and you find yourself in a very, very bad place. So be aware of these things. This channel is not going to always be about finding a solution, because that's going to be up to you. The point is to be aware that these things are happening all the time in our subconscious, and if we don't think about them, address them, watch them like movies. We're not judging. We're not saying that you're bad because you've got all the 5 Ds. Don't do that to yourself. It's not true. Yes, you might have all of them. I think I've had all of them at one point in my life. Be aware of it so that you're not going to judge yourself and then add another negative voice to the pile that are so easy to find. Success is a challenge. I'm even afraid to use that word because it's almost like success other. We define our success. Success in this definition does not mean more things, more glory, more. It means a deeper, more fulfilling life. But to get these things, we have to tackle these lions that are roaring and nipping at our heels at all times, if we let them, because it's up to us how we manage this stuff. So check out his beautiful book, The Garden. I'll put a link in the description for where you can find this book on Amazon, and really dig into this, because it's really fascinating what he says about these 5 things that we do to ourselves as we torture ourselves through our success, getting to the top of mountains and feeling depressed, as opposed to celebrating what you've done. Yeah, we're all guilty of that. I shouldn't say we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of this. Many of us are. I'm not going to generalize like that. These are things that achievers deal with, and you're not alone if this is one of you. Put in the comments which one of these items runs your life, and let's talk about it some more. I will make another video about how to challenge these things, but I wanted to put out there first, these are the things we do to torture ourselves. Observe them and notice how they impact your life. Be kind to yourself. We're human. We're on this long marathon sprint to God knows where, and we hope that we can find some joy and fulfillment along the way, because there's no point of arrival, there's no real destination. It is the journey and the striving, the failing, the stumbling, the heartbreak, and the inspiration that makes life what it is. The more we are aware of these ups and downs and all arounds, the more fun we're going to have, and when we look back at our lives, we'll feel good about what we did. All right. I'll see you there.